Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into a totally phenomenal story of resilience, survival, and the massive impact of empathy. We're going to do a full book summary of this incredible journey called Front Desk by Kelly Yang. The whole thing centers around this seriously remarkable 10-year-old girl named Mia Tang. Now, most 10-year-olds are, distressing over homework or recess, but Mia, she's carrying some unbelievably heavy responsibilities for her immigrant family.
Okay, let's dive into this. To really get what Mia's life is like, we have to realize she's carrying this massive mental load that is completely hidden from the outside world. Just looking at the back cover of the book clearly lays out the stakes. Mia's day-to-day life at the Calivista Motel is basically a high-wire act, and it's built entirely around keeping a few very dangerous, very high-stakes secrets. So here are the 3 core secrets that frame this whole story. First up, Mia doesn't live in a normal house. She lives in a motel, where she essentially works as the front desk manager. Second, and honestly this is the most dangerous one, her parents secretly hide other vulnerable immigrants in the empty motel rooms for absolutely free. If the cruel motel owner ever catches wind of this, they are totally doomed. And third, a deeply personal secret, Mia desperately wants to be a writer. Her mom actually thinks she should stick to math since English isn't her first language, but Mia just holds right on to that dream. To give you a full book summary today, we're going to unpack Mia's journey in 5 parts. Welcome to the Calivista, the front desk manager, injustice and the weeklies, the power of words, and finally, a true immigrant story. All right, let's get into it. Part 1, Welcome to the Calivista, High Hopes and Harsh Realities. The story officially kicks off when Mia's parents grab a job managing a motel in Anaheim, California, hoping it's their ticket out of poverty. They're thrilled, and for Mia, the excitement is just palpable. But man, the contrast between what she expects and what actually goes down is pretty heartbreaking. She closes her eyes and pictures herself doing cannonballs in the pool all summer long. That's the expectation. The reality? It's grueling work. When angry customers demand refunds, the owner, Mr. Yao, actually forces Mia's parents to pay for them out of their own empty pockets. And he constantly reminds them that there are 10,000 other immigrants who take their job in a heartbeat. It's literally a system designed to keep them trapped.
And this brilliantly illustrates the situation. While her parents are completely exhausted from scrubbing floors and cleaning rooms all day long, 10-year-old Mia takes charge of the front desk all by herself. She's literally balancing on a stool just to see over the counter. She's buzzing people in, handling cash, and acting as the official face of the Calivista.
Part 2, The Front Desk Manager, Learning on the Job.
Let's look at what managing a motel actually looks like for a kid. This isn't just some simple after-school chore, right? The daily struggles and the learning curve Mia faces are incredibly steep and frankly pretty dangerous. On day 1, it seems simple enough. She learns how the buzzer under the desk works to let people into the lobby. But by day 2, reality hits hard. Customers walk in, see a 10-year-old girl, and immediately demand the real manager, which forces Mia to run frantically up and down the stairs to fetch her exhausted mom. And then, by day 3, a truly terrifying moment. A drunk customer actually grabs Mia by her shirt right through the desk divider. It's a shocking scene that really highlights just how vulnerable she is.
But here's the thing about Mia. She's incredibly resourceful. She doesn't just cry about it, she problem solves. She drafts up this brilliant, proactive 3-step security plan. Step 1, install bulletproof glass so she can verify who a customer is safely. Step 2, put in a security camera with a live feed straight to the motel TVs so her parents can keep an eye on the lobby while they're cleaning rooms. And Step 3, install a panic button right next to the buzzer. She pitches this highly practical, life-saving plan to Mr. Yao. And his response? He unfairly and callously shoots the whole thing down just because he doesn't want to spend a dime.
Part 3, Injustice and the Weeklies, Finding Found Family.
Now, Mr. Yao's rejection brings up a huge theme in the story. We see this stark contrast between the systemic cruelty of people like him and the incredible warmth of the motel's permanent residents. Mia's family is isolated, sure, but they aren't totally alone. They actually find a community with the weeklies. So what's a weekly? It's exactly what it sounds like. A customer who pays by the week and basically lives full-time at the Calivista. Folks like Mrs. Q, Mrs. T, and a guy named Hank. Remember when Mia was terrified by that drunk customer? Well, it's Hank who walks in, diffuses the situation, and lets Mia just collapse into his arms, shaking with fear. These residents really become Mia's intensely protective found family.
Now contrast Hank's kindness with the motel owner's worldview. When Mia begs Mr. Yao to rethink that security plan, he literally jabs his finger into her chest, right in the exact same spot the drunk man grabbed her, and delivers this incredibly chilling line. You know what's the difference between a good employee and a bad employee? It's whether they know their place. Wow. This perfectly spells out the systemic prejudice and dehumanizing philosophy that Mr. Yao uses to control Mia's family and the Weeklies.
But guess what? Mia and her family refuse to just know their place. And neither does Hank. Hank, who lives over in room 12, becomes a total rock for them. Later on, a prejudiced security guard comes to the motel trying to get hired, bragging about how he loves to beat people up and calling his arrests a badge of courage. Hank is right there with Mia, calling out how absurd and dangerous that mindset is. Despite all its flaws, the motel is a community that absolutely looks out for its own.
Part 4. The Power of Words. Fighting Back with Letters.
So, how does a 10-year-old girl fight back against a rigged system, landlords, and racists? She uses her secret weapon. This is the big climax of our story. Mia leverages her absolute passion for writing. When Hank is unjustly accused of a crime purely because he's a black man, Mia springs into action. She writes a letter to that bigoted security guard, and I love this detail. In the book, you actually see her cross out misspellings. She crosses out TRETVE to write 12 and TREET to write treat. It shows she's still a kid, still learning. But her message? Crystal clear and undeniable. She writes, "Let's treat all our customers with kindness and respect and not judge anyone by the color of their skin." She signs it, Mia Tang, assistant manager. Her words literally become her armor.
And she definitely doesn't stop there. She realizes that to truly protect her family and the Weeklies, they've got to get out from under Mr. Yao's thumb entirely. Then, she finds this essay contest where the grand prize is an actual motel. The entry fee is super steep, but the Weeklies pool all their money together just to help her enter. This is a massive turning point right here. Mia is taking destiny into her own hands to change her family's luck.
So the absolute best part is what she writes in this essay. While Mr. Yao manages through straight-up intimidation and penny-pinching, Mia writes this: "If I owned a motel, I would treat every customer like family. I would bring all guests an extra blanket or a hot water bottle if they were cold." This right here perfectly captures Mia's core philosophy. It's this empathetic, deeply human-centered approach to management that completely defies the cruelty she's had to deal with.
I won't spoil exactly how all the business dealings shake out at the very end, but I will tell you it leads to this incredibly joyful resolution. The story comes beautifully full circle. Remember Mia's dream of doing cannonballs? Well, the book ends with Mia, her parents, and the Weeklies, their newfound family, finally jumping into that motel pool together, splashing around in the sun-kissed water while Hank snaps a photo. It's just a fantastic triumph of resilience.
Part 5. A True Immigrant Story. The Real Mia Tang.
Because as powerful as his fiction is, the real emotional gut punch hits when we learn that this whole thing is deeply autobiographical. Now, what's really interesting here are these real photographs of the author, Kelly Yang, when she was a kid. From the ages of 8 to 12, she actually helped her parents manage several motels in California. She really sat behind that front desk. She lived this exact life. The author's note at the end of the book really hammers home the harsh reality behind the fiction. Kelly Yang writes that she was petrified at night, often sleeping with just painful anxiety. And you know that scene in the book where Mia's mom gets beaten up? Yang reveals that actually happened to her own mother. As a kid, she felt she couldn't talk to her friends about it. Instead, she found her safe haven in libraries. She writes that librarians gave her wings to fly, and those wings came in the shape of books, which ultimately saved her and allowed her to write this very story.
Which brings us to the end of our explainer today. You know, it's one thing to read a story and feel bad for a fictional character. But knowing that Mia's terrifying encounters, her systemic obstacles, and her incredible resilience were a daily, lived reality for the author, that just reframes everything. So, how does knowing Mia's struggles were a reality for the author change the way we understand the everyday immigrant experience in America? Think about that. Thank you so much for exploring this with me, and I hope this sparks you to maybe look at the people working behind the front desks in your own life with fresh, empathetic eyes.